What's going on, guys? Smarty here, and first and foremost, I'd like to welcome you all to the pilot of what could be considered a non-restrictive look at video games. Pure and simple. Old games, new games, indie games, anything under the goddamn sun, really. Think of this series as a mishmash of the funny shit from Last in the Bandwagon and, well, the nonchalant stylings of the Untitled Review Show. If at all I caught your attention in that, welcome to Play Smart. So, I spent the last week in Boston for PAX East, probably one of my favorite conventions of all time. I played some video games, got to hang out with some amazing people, and I got to watch Aphex Blackout drinking. That was an experience in itself. Anyway, so with that, I spent some time on the floor checking out some of the future indie titles that are coming out, and believe me when I say it, they are fucking awesome. So without further ado, here are a few of my favorite games that I saw at PAX East. Okay, so before I actually start, I'm gonna preface this is actually gonna be in no particular order. So I'm gonna go down the list and whatever comes up, then we're gonna just talk about it. These games are all basically fucking awesome and I wanted to just run them by you. So first and foremost, we're gonna be talking about a game that caught me with its premise in general. This game is called Upsilon Circuit, and if you've never heard of it, a couple of articles have been written about it as of recent, but I was approached by the developer Kitty about this game, and she pitched it to me as the following. It's a tactical RPG with a twist, and that twist is you can only play once. Yeah, that's fucking interesting, so I was like, please tell me more. And how it works is it's actually two games going on at the same time. The main stage, which is basically a 4 vs 4 or an 8 vs 8 sort of situation, like it's a team match, and you're all trying to complete various goals while in this tactical RPG. And if you die, you go into the other portion of the game, which is the audience. And the audience is almost like they play the role of the AI director, in which you download, I think it's you download a client or you can download an app to play, because from when they were doing it on in the display, they had tablets all set up for this. So when you're in the audience, you basically can buff characters, you level them up. You're almost like the dungeon master in a sense, where you can throw enemies at them, as many as you want. I was playing the game before, and when I was playing it, I had the 3 guys next to me throw like 50 fucking enemies at me, and I just looked at them like, you son of a bitch. What I love about Upsilon Circuit is it's got a real Hunger Games Battle Royale style to it, where more Hunger Games is where it's like it's got an audience to it. Like, as opposed to Battle Royale, it has this massive audience where they're going to be watching you play and doing everything in their power to destroy you. There's one thing I was told about in particular by Kitty, that she wanted to implement a sacrificial sort of angle to one of the rooms. Do that, because I want to see that shit happen. That'll be amazing. So that's Upsilon Circuit. It's a tactical RPG with a fucking twist, and I want to see this happen. Okay, so next game. This is probably the funnest game I have seen at PAX East, mostly because it's a party game. An Oculus Rift party game, but a party game nonetheless. Keep talking and nobody explodes. Holy shit, this was a fun game. That's really all there is to this one. When I say that it's a fun game, I can see so many instances coming out of it that I really wish I had a Rift and the Derp crew was closer so we could record this shit. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is a simple game. One person wears an Oculus Rift and they're looking at a bomb. The other person or people in question in the room are looking at a manual on how to disarm the bomb. Only the person with the VR system or the Oculus Rift has the actual ability to see the bomb. So this is going to lead to some mix-ups, some confusion, some amazing moments in gameplay. Honestly, this is a game I would check out just for that alone. Even if you get dizzy from fucking virtual reality, stuff like that, just watch people play it. That's something you gotta do, because you watch these people kind of freak out and whatnot. Like, alright, so there's like 3 wires on here, a red one, a blue one, and a yellow one. And the person on the other end's like, there's no yellow one in this manual, what do we do? Do yourself a favor if you go to a convention and you see this game, line up. Line up, because I can tell this game's gonna be an absolute success when it comes out. It's a good party game, it's good for probably 2 to 4 people. Probably more, but the more you get, I feel like the more stress it would cause on the person wearing the Rift. So yeah, Keep talking and nobody explodes. Do yourself a favor, check out that game. As time goes on, there should be more announcements about it, but pick that up, because I feel like that's going to be an absolute joy to play at parties. Probably drunk. Maybe we need to get Aphex drunk and play this game. Okay, so now we get into the top-down retro indie titles. Well, at least one of them that I was really interested in. And that game is Titan Souls. Titan Souls plays almost like an old-school Shadow of the Colossus. And what I mean by that is there are really no enemies on the map other than the titans that you face in the dungeons. And that's it. Really, that's what I like about this game. It's very minimalistic. It's a beautiful game. It's a very beautiful, like, pixelated game that reminds me very much of games like Hyper Light Drifter, Fez, Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery EP. Games like that. Those games, those are some of the best pixel art games I have ever seen, and this is gonna probably be up there. The game is balls hard, though. It looks beautiful and looks like a Fez, but plays like a Dark Souls. I swear to fucking God. It plays like a Dark Souls or a Shadow of the Colossus. It's one of those sort of, you have to learn the strategy of how to beat these bosses. You can fight the bosses in any form. You can fight it, it's not linear. You can go to any dungeon on the map, start from there, and work your way forward. All you have to do is try and beat a Titan. And Godspeed to whoever did it at PAX East and won the code for the game. That is fucking hard to do. Yeah, so this game is coming out next month. I believe April 20th? I think. I'm not sure. But it's coming out next month. And you can probably check it on the PlayStation Network. There's a thing for the Spring Fever sale. It's coming out then. If you're interested, go check it out. It's $5. I'd totally recommend it. Titan Souls. Holy fucking shit, this game is hard, but beautiful. This next game we're going to be talking about is actually one of the first games I saw. Lightfall is an interesting sort of platformer, which reminded me a lot of Limbo. It reminded me a lot of Bastion with the third-person narration. And if you throw in some parkour elements, it actually adds something new to the game. What I was really interested by was the lore of the game. And when I say that, I mean that, like, you learn more about the world through the narration and a lot of the scenery. You learn that it's sort of like this civilization with a lot of old gods. You see the statues and stuff like that, which are also puzzles that are implemented into the game, parkour puzzles and whatnot. One of my favorite things in the game, which was something creative and added to the parkour element, is called the Shadow Core. And the Shadow Core is a giant block. It's a giant shadow block you can spawn. And what it does is it adds jumps to the game. So you can be creative with your jumps in order to get past certain puzzles or certain insta-kill objects. It feels like a faster Limbo at first, and I know that can be a little weird, like, based on the art style mixed with the gameplay, but really, give it a chance. It's really a game that you need to take in, you know, it's a game that you need to, like, absorb the story and let it surround you in its lore and just enjoy the thing for what it is. I really like it a lot. We Happy Few. This game was probably one of the more hyped up games in the indie circle, so to speak, from what I'm gathering. There was a massive line of people just waiting to see this game come out, and I can see why. From what I'm gathering, We Happy Few is, from what I'm gathering, it's supposed to be Compulsion Games' attempt at a first-person roguelike. And I say that like in the sense of, they've been experimenting around from what the guy there told me, and they wanted to see if there was anything like it. And the only thing that's really out there is something like Eldritch, which is like a voxel-based roguelike in first person. And they're trying to go with something that has sort of a universe to it, something that has a world to it. And honestly, they're succeeding at it. From what I'm gathering, the feel of the game, it has a BioShock 1 feel, you know what I mean? Like, you can feel the atmosphere to it, you can feel the depth, and you can feel the eeriness to it. I like that a lot. The game itself, I had no idea what the fuck was going on in the story. I don't know the story of We Happy Few. I'm gonna be honest about that. What I do know is a couple of things. It takes place in England, A lot of drugs are involved, and you are on the run from a bunch of scary fucking mimes. The art style of this game is fucking eerie as all hell. It feels like a 1960s sort of England vibe, where it's like old towny sort of. It's got an old towny look. It's got the hippie look, sort of. It's got that mishmash, so to speak. I'm very interested to see where it's gonna go. I want to play this game and just get my hands on it and try it out. It looks fantastic. I'm gonna say that We Happy Few is probably one of the games that we're all looking forward to in the upcoming year. It's something new. It's something, I guess, in the horror realm, in the indie realm, it's something that no one has ever seen before. And even though it reminds me of like a BioShock for its like atmosphere and stuff like that, I feel like this is gonna be a fun first-person roguelike sort of game that we can all just sink our teeth into. So yeah, We Happy Few. English folk and drugs. Let's have fun with it. Alright, so I know I wasn't gonna rank any of these games whatsoever, but I gotta be honest in saying this was probably my favorite of the entire convention. It came out right before PAX. 2 days before I left for PAX, and I had no idea about it. But this game really caught me because it's a throwback to old school horror adventure. White Knight is a throwback to games like Alone in the Dark, as it tells the story of a detective who goes into this mansion on a rainy night. Basically, old school storytelling. Very Lovecraftian, with a mix of Stephen King. Pretty cool, to say the least. The art style is what really got me as well. The game reminds me of games like Mad World. It has like this cel-shading black and white sort of feel to it, where you don't see much in the dark. And for that you need to use your matches in order to see more and unravel more. That's something I'd like to see. They also included one of the scariest fucking features that you could ever include in a survival game. Limited saves. There's no automatic saves, it's all manual. And when I say that, I mean, like, do you remember in Resident Evil, the ticker tape that you had to use for typewriters? Exactly like that. Jesus Christ. They included that again, so basically every time you sit in a chair, that's your save point. So you have to find each chair in the game and do that. I'm interested to see more on the story. Actually, after this convention ended, I immediately went home and bought it. It was like 15 bucks on Steam. Not a bad deal for what you're getting. It's a nice indie game, and they were talking about making a sequel if it does well, so if that interested you at all, if you're interested in old school Alone in the Dark type horror games, pick this game up. This game deserves all the love, and it's been going under the radar since it came out. This game is one of those horror games which, finally we're getting this again, because it reminds me of something like Silent Hill, where it's really the atmosphere that takes you in. It's not heavily reliant on jump scares, it's not heavily reliant on big bad enemies or anything like that. It's mainly you and the darkness. What really attracts me to it is the fear of the unknown. Once you're in that darkness, you don't know what's 2 steps in front of you. That's kind of what scares you in it. You don't know whether you're gonna see an enemy 2 steps in front of you or you're gonna be fine. That's why you have your matches and stuff like that, but yeah. So those were some of my favorite games that I saw at PAX East. Pretty sick, huh? That, or you think my taste in games is total trash? Either way, let me know in the comments below. And with that said, I'll talk to you guys later. Happy gaming, everybody!